I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather. Ladies and gentlemen, chaos broke out. And I'm not talking about legit, bona fide boxing, pure boxing chaos. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that's just embarrassing. Look at this here, please.
This is a beautiful house, my man. How many square feet is this?
A little bit over 20,000 square feet, 3 or 4 levels.
Money Mayweather, seems appropriate that you would be living in Vegas.
My mentality is always about, working.
Floyd Money Mayweather was once the symbol of boxing success and wealth, but recent revelations tell a different story. Stephen A. Smith questions the stability of Mayweather's empire. Could the undefeated champ now be facing his toughest opponent, financial ruin? Let's break down the $42 million scandal rocking the boxing world.
The $1 million garage.
I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn.
Well, we are on ESPN. This car costs $3.2 million. This Bugatti right here costs $1.6 million. It's close to 15 million. You're right, it's close to 15 million.
And you don't drive them?
No.
Floyd Mayweather spent years branding himself as the highest paid athlete on the planet, often boasting about $100 million paydays every time his name made headlines.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
But now, one voice from the fight world is tearing that narrative apart. Former UFC title contender and analyst Chael Sonnen calls it one of the greatest illusions in sports marketing, suggesting Mayweather's so-called 9-figure fight checks might have been nothing more than smoke and mirrors.
Phrase, fake news.
Yeah.
Why is he saying that? What does that even mean? You can trust the news. There's no such thing as fake. People were dressed up as empty seats, and I mean thousands of people.
No.
I bought my mother's ticket that day. That day, my mother decides that she wants to go to the fight. So I'm in there and I'm telling the world that this place is sold out because that's what's on the screen. And I go, it's not even close. Yeah. This isn't like, it's pretty much full. This isn't, there's thousands of empty seats. That was the first time that in my own life I ever just, wow, fake news is real.
Wow.
And then Mayweather, they wanted a rematch. They were begging. They were doing more media trying to get a rematch than they did leading into the first match. And the guys that wrote that.
So while Mayweather flashed watches, jets, and bank slips, the hard financial proof, according to Sonnen, never actually surfaced. No broadcast partner, no third-party verification, just headlines.
Never puts that press release and sends it out.
What?
Never has a company that's publicly traded had an executive back those numbers. They're all lies.
This raises a brutal question. Was Mayweather's empire built on actual checks, or just hype, ego, and PR magic? Sonnen isn't alone either. With financial lawsuits, unpaid jewelry bills, and a crypto scam lawsuit haunting his name, the money brand seems to be leaking from all sides. Floyd Mayweather has always been the face of untouchable wealth in boxing, the man who turned luxury into a lifestyle and made money his identity. But behind the private jets and million-dollar shopping sprees, the cracks in that image are starting to show, and faster than anyone expected. Mayweather may be broke, but no one's openly saying it yet, except his old rivals. Even Oscar de la Hoya, a longtime rival turned reluctant supporter, couldn't ignore what's unfolding. De la Hoya, who has often defended Mayweather in public, was recently forced to admit the reality.
For these exhibitions, I know life is hard, I know life is expensive, but come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse, your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro.
Coming from a promoter who knows both sides of boxing's business, De La Hoya's words weren't just criticism, they sounded more like a financial obituary. The jewelry lawsuit, asset rumors, and a string of exhibition fights all point to the reality that Mayweather's so-called billion-dollar empire might not be as bulletproof as the public believed. And the fact that De La Hoya, someone who once stood on the opposite side of the ring, is now offering sympathy instead of rivalry, speaks louder than any bank statement. But the irony is, Mayweather didn't stay silent. While De La Hoya publicly paints a picture of concern, Floyd made sure the world remembered the real business history between them. When it comes to money and loyalty, Mayweather has long hinted that De La Hoya wasn't exactly the cleanest operator behind closed doors.
Guy up. He was fighting on my undercard. He was the co-main. We helped build this guy up. And you know what Oscar De La Hoya do? You know what Mr. Loyal Oscar De La Hoya do? I'm sorry, Mr. Disloyal Oscar De La Hoya do? He take him right over to HBO and cut a deal with HBO. And when he cut the deal, he got money, but I bet Canelo didn't see none. But these are the things that people don't know about in a sport.
For a man who built his reputation on flaunting wealth, this wasn't just about Canelo or old business. Mayweather was hinting at a pattern of hidden deals, unspoken payouts, and financial games behind the scenes, the same games now surfacing in lawsuits, unpaid debts, and quiet asset sales. And it's not just financial experts and retired champions raising eyebrows at Mayweather's empire. Even fighters from his own generation, and opponents who shared the ring with him, have started pulling the mask off. Logan Paul, who fought Mayweather, is still chasing a payday that, according to him, mysteriously vanished after the bout. And his frustration didn't hold back any punches.
It's not in full, like a couple million somehow that is just missing. Where did the money go? Floyd said he could afford a Jeff Bezos-sized jet from the money he made from that fight. I ain't got a jet. What the fuck, dude? I'm missing a couple mil. We're gonna find it, bro. I'll see you in court. The artist happened. Just like, mark my words, we're coming for you, Floyd. We're coming for your millions in the last.
A court case, missing millions, and another crack in the Money Mayweather brand. What started as a boxing exhibition ended in a financial hunt. And Logan isn't the only one hinting that the numbers behind Floyd's fortune might not be adding up. When even fighters are forced to chase their payouts through the courtroom, it leaves one question hard to ignore: is Mayweather's financial empire already running on fumes? But even as Logan Paul moved forward with his lawsuit, claiming Mayweather never paid his full share for their fight, Floyd didn't stay silent. Instead, he responded in classic Mayweather fashion, flipping the blame back onto the business and brushing the whole scandal off like it was nothing more than loose change.
Just like I'm still collecting checks from fights 7 or 8 years ago. I'm still collecting checks. Why? Because I made smart moves and I'm my own boss. So they hate when a table is turned. You know, look how many years they've been owing us money. But we don't never trip. So now when the table is turned, they say, oh, you owe us something. Be happy with the biggest payday you ever got in your life.
Mayweather's calm dismissal painted the lawsuit as nothing more than routine business, but the timing told a different story. From unpaid opponents to jewelers filing lawsuits and rumors of asset sales, Floyd's financial fortress seems to be facing pressure from all sides. And no amount of smart moves can hide the growing list of people still waiting to be paid. Logan's breakdown pulls back the curtain on a business strategy most fans never see. For years, Mayweather wasn't just making money inside the ring, he was controlling the money around it. From scooping up entire ticket sections before they hit the public to flipping them for massive profits, Floyd's hustle extended far beyond fight night.
So he is the promotional arm of his fights. It's why, in part, he makes so much money, because whereas a normal promotional company will take 30%, he is that. And so oftentimes for his fights, before the tickets can go on sale to the public, or like right as they go on sale, he'll buy a whole wing, a whole section, and then he'll sell them at a higher price, marked up, so he can make,
like all the floor seats. He takes all of them.
All of them, 3, 4, 5x, and it's part of his business.
On the surface, Logan even admitted the strategy itself wasn't illegal or unusual for someone running their own fight promotions, it was just business. But the real problem, according to him, wasn't about ticket flipping at all. It was about investors being left in the dark and millions of dollars vanishing once the seats were sold.
Pay $1.4 million in total for this section, and the investor was promised that the seats would sell at I think a 7 to 8x multiple, and he expected a return on his investment. And sure enough, he didn't get his initial investment back. He's strung along. He gets like 100K here and there, strung along, not getting paid. Now his investment allegedly is being rolled into Floyd's alleged fight with Manny Pacquiao. And so the investors being strung along on this thing, and eventually, like us, it's like, yo, we're simply not getting paid in full. Like, we've been fucking dragged along for way too long now, and this guy finally filed a lawsuit against Floyd Mayweather. So that's the one that's actually active and pending. And then here,
what started as a smart business setup slowly spiraled into claims of false promises, unpaid returns, and now courtroom battles. Logan's words echo a pattern that's hard to ignore, a growing list of fighters, investors, and partners still waiting for Mayweather to settle the bill. While Mayweather's public image continues to revolve around private jets and million-dollar shopping sprees, the cracks in that Money Mayweather empire have started to surface. And this time, the accusations aren't coming from journalists or bitter ex-promoters, they're coming from the very people who stepped into the ring with him. Logan Paul, who shared one of the most watched exhibition fights of the decade against Mayweather, revealed that the real battle didn't end when the final bell rang, it began after the cameras stopped rolling. And according to Logan, the paycheck that was promised still hasn't arrived.
He has not paid me in full, that is a fact.
No
Short
way.
a few mil, yeah.
Wow. Still a few mil.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have you been in contact with him?
Nah, we're taking this for the court.
No, are you being serious? Is this like a
Do I look serious, lady?
You do. I'm just making sure. I apologize.
Really?
I'm just...
Nah, I'm fucking with you. I'm not fucking with you. Yeah, we're taking him to court.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So,
Yeah, see you in the courtroom. Congrats, you're going to prison, Floyd.
The moment Logan's words hit the internet, the illusion of Mayweather's untouchable wealth began to crumble even further. This wasn't a bitter promoter or an old rival whispering in the shadows. This was a man who had stood in the same ring, shook the same hands, and signed the same contracts. Floyd Mayweather, always confident and unapologetically boasting about his lavish lifestyle, continues to remind everyone that no matter the public's opinion of him, his success remains undeniable. His words serve as a reminder of the wealth he's accumulated and the empire he's built through hard work and business acumen.
When everything is okay, I still got my private jets. Let me put an S on that because I got 3 of them. Still got my private jets. I still have all my beautiful homes, still have all my properties everywhere, and still making millions every month.
These statements are more than just a flex. They're a testament to the fact that, regardless of the challenges he's faced in and out of the ring, Mayweather has remained a financial force, one whose lifestyle continues to be the envy of many in sports and beyond. While Floyd Mayweather continues to thrive financially and dominate the boxing scene, not everyone agrees with his recent choices. Critics, including Stephen A. Smith, have been vocal about his decision to take on exhibition fights against non-boxers, particularly the infamous Logan Paul matchup. In Smith's eyes, Floyd is risking his legendary status by stepping into the ring with people who don't belong there, diminishing the value of his career. For Smith, Mayweather's behavior is an example of chasing money at the expense of legacy.
It's Floyd Money Mayweather. Everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match? All right, that's fine. You know, Conor sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street or anything like that. Boxing is your thing.
While Smith acknowledges that Floyd's ability to generate income is unmatched, he criticizes the idea of giving attention to fights that don't showcase true boxing talent. In his view, these exhibition matches with people like Logan Paul, who have no real boxing background, tarnish Mayweather's legacy and undermine the sport's integrity. Stephen A. believes Floyd has nothing left to prove and should focus on preserving his legendary status rather than indulging in fights that make headlines but don't contribute to his legacy in the ring. They say the higher you climb, the harder you fall. For Floyd Mayweather, the fall might have already happened behind closed doors. The man who once counted his millions on camera, flaunting cash like confetti, is now surrounded by lawsuits, unpaid debts, and whispers of a financial empire collapsing from the inside out. For years, Mayweather convinced the world he was untouchable, the king of pay-per-view, the master of luxury, the man who turned boxing into a billion-dollar business. But what if the money was never really there? What if the private jets, diamond chains, and flashy bank slips were nothing more than props in the greatest financial illusion the fight world has ever seen?
It's happening. Yeah, 50 Cent is pretty much exposing the fact that Floyd Mayweather is having issues, but it was not 50 that started it. It was actually Business Insider.
They got Floyd here. It says Floyd Mayweather is stepping into Manhattan's multi-family ring in a big way. the retired boxers has gone into a contract to pay $420 million for a 1,000-unit affordable housing portfolio with more than 60 buildings, according to sources familiar to the deal. Josh Gotti of Black Spruce Management is the seller, and Black Spruce Magazine declined comment. It says also here that the investor partnered with Maynard Orchard on a $1.8 billion deal for 1,766 units spanning 6 rental buildings and in acquisition of the American Cooper Building, twin luxury towers in Murray Hills with the view of the East River.
The $42 million scam isn't just a headline, it's a warning. Behind the designer suits and staged Instagram photos, the truth about Floyd's so-called fortune is starting to surface. And this time, no amount of PR can save the money brand from bankruptcy. And if you think the $42 million scandal was the end of the story, think again. The deeper this rabbit hole goes, the uglier the truth looks for Floyd Mayweather. Behind all the Instagram filters and private jet photo ops, the real Floyd might just be another victim of his own ego, a man so obsessed with looking rich that he forgot to stay rich. And when Stephen A. Smith starts questioning your financial reality on national TV, it's no longer just haters talking. It's a clear sign the walls are closing in. Floyd Mayweather didn't just sell fights, he sold the dream of untouchable wealth. But the moment you peel away the flashy watches and staged bank slips, all that's left is a man running out of time, out of luck, and by the looks of these lawsuits, out of money. The $42 million scam wasn't just a bad business move, it might have been the final nail in the coffin for the Money Mayweather myth. What do you think? Is Mayweather's money empire finally falling apart, or has he been playing the world all along? Share your thoughts in the comment section.